Hello friends, welcome back in a ROSE project. This project is conducted by Rayat Shikshan Sanstha's Sadguru Garge Maharaj College, Karad. Myself, Jagtap SR. Currently, we are discussing a topic mechanical properties of fluids. In last lecture, we had discussed about pressure and atmospheric pressure, Gauss pressure and absolute pressure. Now in this lecture, we will discuss about Pascal's law and its applications. There are two applications of the Pascal's law in our syllabus. The first one is hydraulic lift and another hydraulic brakes. We will discuss about measurement of the pressure. In this point, we will discuss about the two instruments. The first one is mercury barometer and another is open tube manometer. Now the first point, Pascal's law. The statement of the Pascal's law is the pressure applied at any point of an enclosed fluid at rest is transmitted equally and undiminished to every point of the fluid and also on the all of the container, provided the effect of gravity is neglected. Now the first application of the Pascal's law is hydraulic lift. The hydraulic lift is used to lift a heavy object using a small force. The principle of the hydraulic lift is based on Pascal's law. Now talking about the construction of the hydraulic lift, a tank containing fluid is fitted with two pistons S1 and S2 such that S1 has a smaller area of cross section and S2 has a larger area of cross section. A heavy object or the heavy load can be placed on S2 and can be lifted up by applying a small force on piston S1. If we apply a force F1 on the smaller piston S1 in the downward direction, it will generate a pressure. As we know that pressure is equal to force per unit area, so we can write here P is equal to F1 divided by A1. By the Pascal's law, this pressure is transmitted to the bigger piston S2. As a result, a force F2 will exerted upwards on piston S2. Therefore, we can write here F2 is equal to P into A2. Putting the value of P, we can write here F2 is equal to F1 divided by A1 into A2. From this, we conclude that a heavy object placed on the piston S2 is lifted up by applying a small force F1 on the piston S1. Now the second application is hydraulic brakes. Hydraulic brakes are used to slow down or stop a vehicle in a motion. The principle of hydraulic brakes is based on Pascal's law. Many times we saw a word oil brake or air brake behind the truck or bus. This oil brake or the air brake are hydraulic brakes. Now talking about the construction of the hydraulic brakes, A brake pedal is connected with master cylinder, and these master cylinders are connected with slave cylinders. The slave cylinders is connected with wheels of the vehicle. The area of the master cylinder is small and that of the area of the slave cylinders are large. By pressing a brake pedal, the piston of the master cylinder is pushed in a forward direction. Result, the piston in the slave cylinder, which has a much larger area of the cross section as compared to that of master cylinders, are moves in a forward direction so as to maintain the volume of the oil is constant. The slave piston pushes the friction pad against the rotating disc which is connected to the wheels, thus causing a moving vehicle to slow down or stop. The master cylinder has a smaller area of cross section A1 compared to the area A2 of the slave cylinder. By applying a small force F to the master cylinder, it will generate a pressure, and we know that pressure P is equal to force upon area. This pressure is transmitted to the slave cylinder and apply a force F2 on a slave cylinder. Therefore, we can write here F2 is equal to P into A2. F2 is equal to F divided by A into A2. This is the similar to the principle used in a hydraulic lift. Now the second point is measurement of pressure. The instrument used to measure pressure are called pressure meters. The first instrument is mercury barometer. And instruments that used to measure atmospheric pressure is called a barometer. The barometer is in the form of glass tube completely filled with mercury and placed upside down in a small dish containing mercury. Now talking about the construction of the barometer, a glass tube of about 1 meter length and diameter of 1 centimeter is filled with mercury to its brim. It is then quickly inverted into a small dish containing mercury. The level of the mercury in the glass tube lowers as small mercury spills in the dish. A gap is created between the surface of the mercury in the glass tube and the closed end of the glass tube. The gap does not contain any air and it is called a Torricelli's vacuum. Also, this gap does not contain mercury vapors. Thus, the pressure at the upper end of the mercury column inside the tube is 0. Therefore, we can write here PA is equal to 0. The pressure at C is equal to atmospheric pressure, that is PO, because it is open to the atmosphere. The point B and point C at the same horizontal level. So pressure at point B is equal to pressure at point C, which is equal to the atmospheric pressure. So we can write here PB is equal to PO. Suppose the point B is at a depth h below the point A and rho be the density of the mercury. Then we can write here PB is equal to PA plus H rho G. But we know that PA is equal to 0. So we can write here PB is equal to H rho G. But also we know that PB is equal to atmospheric pressure, which is equal to P. Therefore we can write here PO, that is atmospheric pressure, is equal to H rho G. Now the second instrument is open tube manometer. An instrument that measures the pressure difference is called an open tube manometer. A manometer consists of U-shaped tube partly filled with a low density liquid such as kerosene and water. One arm of the manometer is open to the atmosphere and another arm is connected to the container D, of which the pressure P is to be measured. The pressure at point A is atmospheric pressure PO because its arm is open to atmosphere. Consider B be the point in a open arm of the manometer at the same level as point C. Both having at the same level, so we can write here pressure at point C is equal to pressure at point B. Therefore, PC is equal to PB. The pressure at point B is the sum of pressure due to the liquid column A to B and atmospheric pressure. So we can write here PB is equal to PO plus H rho G. Therefore, from equation first we can write here PC is equal to PO plus H rho G. By using the Pascal's law, the pressure at point C is same as at point D. Therefore, we can write here P is equal to PO plus H rho G. So, the Gauss pressure, that is pressure difference between the D point and atmospheric pressure, is P minus PO is equal to H rho G. Thank you very much.